Hello, everyone. Did you watch the interview that Peter Obi did, on Arise TV? He spoke about so many things. I mean, literally, you would see the president that was voted for by Nigerians that spoke. He engaged the people, that was the main topic of the day. I don't know whether any other person spoke, but that was the person who spoke in Nigeria yesterday. And there were so many things that he did say. First of all, in terms of his assessment, he was asked his assessment of the former governor of Lagos State, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and he said Bola Ahmed Tinubu has done an excellent job. Yes, that's what he said. He said he has done an excellent job, and for the 1 year that he has been there, and he gave reasons on how excellently he has done his job and how well he has gone on with the promises that he had made to Nigeria, and he had kept those promises. So just listen to Mr. Peter Obi and hear from him.
I would say that President Tinubu have kept to his campaign promises. Throughout the campaign, he consistently maintained that he will continue from where Buhari stopped. And that is done very well. I would say excellent. I'll give him excellent pass mark. And it's very simple. Dollar was 460, is now 1,005. Fuel was 238, is now about 700. Diesel was 844, is now 1,415. A bag of rice is 35,000, is now about 80. A bag of beans was similar, 35, is now about 90. Gari was 27.28, is now 49.50. A tuber of yam was about 2,007 to 3,000, now is about 10,000. Tomato basket is about 40,000, that is over 150,000. Electricity is 66 kilowatts, is now over 200. You can go on and on. Our debts, even bread, which is a basic thing other countries that subside, like Egypt, bread, smaller, medium bread was 450 naira. It's not 900 naira. The big one is 900, is 1,005. Our debt, like I mentioned, was 87. By end of last year, it was actually 97. The highest we've done within that short period. Now is over 100 trillion. In fact, this year alone, the government, through the Central Bank of Nigeria, have issued and taken from the system borrowing of over 16 trillion naira. You can imagine the interest at almost 20%. It's about 3.2 trillion after 12 months. At that, last year, in a period of 9 months, we spent about 5.7 trillion servicing as debt interest on our payments. So add that. So overall, you've done well. Let's even go back to the overall of the economy. By the time he took over last year, we were still the biggest economy in Africa with $477 billion as our GDP, followed by South Africa, Egypt, Algeria, and Morocco. Today, we are number 4. South Africa is number 1 now, I think about $373 billion. Egypt is second, $347 billion, followed by Algeria, 266. And we are now 252 billion GDP economy. It's even worse when you go to our per capita. We are actually 1/4 of per capita of the list of these nations that I mentioned. South Africa is over 6,000 per capita. Egypt is 4,000 plus. so is Algeria, and then Morocco, which is 1,210, and we are 1,000 plus. So we actually gone low. We're coming from a low of per capita of 3,000 plus in 2014. So every other thing have headed south. Adherence to the rule of law has worsened. The country has been, nepotism is at the highest.
Let's look at one.
Absolutely. You heard it from Mr. Peter Obi himself. Tinubu has done excellently well in his first year in keeping to his campaign promises. He did promise Nigerians that he was going to continue from where Buhari had stopped. Buhari was destroying the country. So, of course, Tinubu will come and do better in quote of what Buhari had done, which is to destroy the country, which is to take everything down. And you could hear Mr. Peter Obi himself really now the price is to tell you that he's in touch with what is happening in the country. He has always been in touch. Even during campaign, he mentioned all of these things. He broke down things that everybody could understand. But some people say that, oh, they were not hearing him. They didn't understand what he was saying. He wasn't talking to them, or blah, 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 or his supporters was the reason why. But anyways, in spite of that, he still won the election, in spite of the fact that people never believed that he was going to do it. There were citizens who stood by him. He won the election. The election was rigged. A lot of people watched the election rigged. They gloated over it. They said, oh, let's move on. They brought all sorts of excuses. Well, the suffering is not making anyone move on. The cost of food is not making anyone move on. The inflation in the country is not making anyone move on. It's facing everybody and is dealing with everybody. So here he is. He has given that excellent 1 year for doing the things he promised that he was going to do. And most importantly also is the fact that Nigeria, as it is, from being the giant of Africa in terms of economy, for being the biggest economy in Africa, has found itself as the fourth in Africa. Is trailing behind South Africa, is trailing behind Egypt, is trailing behind Algeria. And even when you talk about GDP, those ones that per capita income, rather, when you look at the per capita income, those one that is even bigger than the per capita income is way more than that of Nigeria. And so this is where we are. And so it's what he said he was going to do. So anybody coming to form any surprise or coming to say that, even in some videos I did yesterday, that was exactly what I said. Tinubu did say he was going to continue from where Buhari stopped. Just like we have in Edo State, Aso Ighodalo is saying that he's going to continue from where Obaseki stopped. And what do you expect? Obaseki had given failure. So if somebody says he's going to continue where somebody has failed, what do you expect if not failure? That's exactly it. So I don't get when some people are going here, there, left, right, center, and whatever it is that they are going to. Anyway, you heard it from Mr. Peter Obi. He has given Tinubu, excellent mark in terms of keeping his promises, campaign promises that he made. Thank you and bye.